Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and I'm at the Battleground Games and Hobbies Abington, Massachusetts location, and I'm in the loft in Abington. I'm going to be painting some trucks. I'm going to be painting some trucks from the game Wasteland Express Delivery Service. It's got a Mad Maxy sort of vibe to it, and it has a whole lot of delivery trucks, and they're all very different. So in the game, you are a delivery driver. You are driving food, water, and ammo around to different settlements in the wasteland. And each of the different drivers has their own truck, their own vehicle, and sort of personality and special stuff. So we've got, I'm used to it being upside down. We inverted our camera so that I can actually hold things right side up for myself. So this is IGAT. IGAT has basically what is a shed on the back of a big rig.
It's the one that I joked looked like Optimus Prime when you're at the base coat.
He looks very much, yeah, he's got this big red, go big red. So we're going to be finishing up that today. This is the truck so far. That's what it's looking like. Got a lot of barbed wire on the top and stuff. So we're going to be doing that. Last week I finished this school bus of doom. It is driven by a driver named The Fallen. She's one of my favorites. And then I finished Bandit's Trans Am. And I decided to go with the Smokey and the Bandit, like legit Smokey and the Bandit sort of deal. Hey, Andy? I'm still seeing us hosting. That's really weird, because I'm definitely on our channel and I'm definitely still seeing Lur. Why was it doing that? Ah, there it is. Also, I'm hearing my own voice up here on a delay, which is really disconcerting, and I can't really spend the entire time doing that. That will freak me out the entire time. And also, we're going to start getting an echo on the stream. Like, yeah. See?
Yeah.
Computer is across the table from me, and I'm mic'd and have cords and stuff, so. But yeah, this is Bandit. I decided to go with the actual, like, Smokey and the Bandit. Firebird. Hood. There. So where is that sound coming from? My computer's muted, so it's definitely not coming out of mine. So we're going to work on 0. Yeah, there's 0. She has a big Humvee sort of deal. She's got, like, it's not even a Humvee, it's like big military convoy vehicle. I don't know what it's called. Someone here would know what it's called, but we don't have any of our, like, military adjacent people here right now. And then Tweak. And Tweak is driving a construction vehicle. He's got a big shovel. So, yeah. So, we're gonna finish up IGAT's shed here, and then we'll work on the other 2 vehicles, and then I'm done. And the cool thing about being done with that is then I'm ready to paint the Wasteland Warfare stuff when that starts coming in from Modiphius, because that's Fallout stuff. What is the problem? Okay. You can fix it? Good, because that would get really annoying really fast. Yeah, we're just trying to figure out why I can hear myself because that's gonna really wear on my nerves. It's not like fun. Who is this? That's someone I followed. I don't remember following that person. Oh well. So we're going to start off with purple. I need to do a few little touch-ups. I bought myself a new brush last week, and I'm really happy about it. Still, I do have my old brushes. I don't know. I like the Army Painter ones. These like white plastic handle ones. I just feel they're more comfortable in my hand. They're a little chunkier. And I don't feel like I'm constantly worried about the brush head coming off of the handle. Whereas, as you can tell, no matter how careful I have been with these red-handled ones, these red Army, they're all Army Painter, I guess, but the wooden-handled ones, what I don't love about that is they get damp, and then the paint starts flaking, and then eventually, because the wood is swelling, when it shrinks back down, eventually the metal tip comes loose. I don't love that. And I don't like constantly having paint flaking off on my hands. That's annoying. So I got myself another one of these Army Painter ones. And I already had, I guess they're Wargamer ones. I already had the really intensely tiny one. That one. And I got myself this slightly less intensely tiny, but still very tiny. There's the two of them compared. So yeah, I got myself a new brush, but that means I can be a little less careful with my existing brushes. But there's a little bit of touch-up I want to do on the purple here. So the sheet actually, it really does look like it's blue and purple. I suspect like there's a certain amount of liberty that one is taking with the colors in this. But they're all really weirdly day-glow colors anyway, so. Boop, boop, boop. There's chat. Hello, chat. Cool. So looking at this, it looks like there's a whole lot of metallics on the front. There's a stop sign actually right here, and I painted right over it, but that was intentional because I didn't want to try to avoid it when I was putting down base coats. So yeah, I just painted right over it because I always figured I could go back and fix that. I want to do the interiors of the walls up here, and I actually want those to be wood because I want it to be like wooden railings that were put up at the top. It's supposed to be just like a metallic fence, but obviously they made it solid for the model. So I want that to be reflected that it's a solid one here. There's a lot of graffiti and stuff written across here on the model. So we're gonna work on that after I've finished sort of filling in all the bits and pieces. I definitely want to get some highlighting done on here. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good about this model. It's ridiculous, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. The truck is largely red, like the body, the cab of the truck, but it does have a lot of metallics on it. So we'll run with that. And the metallic panels and stuff on the back, it's got like this awning, and there's supposed to be like windows underneath and stuff. We're gonna go over all of those and age them in various ways. Once again, we're definitely talking about a variety of like metal bits and pieces, and we're talking about a model that is largely symmetrical from one side to the other, even down to the little carved out sort of V right there. Hey Andy, you give me bits for each truck I complete today? Yeah, that's going to be like a bit. How many bits should you do? I don't know. How many do you want to give once? Because I don't think I'm finishing any others today. The Humvee, it's not a Humvee. I need to look this up and find out what the vehicle actually is. Because I know they have them at the Armory in Quincy. I just don't know what they're called. But like that's going to take a ton of work. And same for the shovel. Like those aren't one days. Bandit was one day. I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it, and there wasn't like a lot of bits and pieces to paint on it. I'm happy with how that came out, though. Came out precisely the way I wanted it to. Let's play around with those metallics. We're gonna get we're gonna do like wood paneling on the interior with the barbed wire. I want to do a dark brown for that. So this is how I do wood, and this is not like an official technique. It's just how I do wood. I tend to start with a dark base, because when you look at like a lighter wood that's got like a wood grain to it, you're really looking at sort of dark veining in the grain. And so in my mind, that means I need to start with a darker brown base and then be brushing different light colors on top of it. So if I go with the idea that I want this to be like a slat board sort of fence, really what I want is like particle board. When I was a kid, my mom worked all day, and I spent afternoons after preschool at the house of a woman who took care of kids after school for their parents. And I was the youngest kid there. And there was a neighbor, the house next door, who had a house that, in my memory, was made out of like corrugated sheet metal and particle board. And that's probably not 100% accurate. Like, I doubt the entire house was made out of corrugated sheet metal and particle board, largely because I live in New England. And you couldn't survive a winter like that, especially not in that area. The area that was in gets some really nasty weather. It's coastal, so you get like nor'easters and stuff. A house just made of particle board would never it wouldn't last like a single winter. So I know that can't be exactly it, but in my mind, it's like particle board and sheet metal. And so I have vivid memories of like particle board as a kid being like annoying, because it was everywhere. There were sheets of it, there were pieces of it all over the place that us kids would build forts and stuff out of. There was like scrap pieces of it. And I just hated it. I hated it. Because particle board is made out of like wood chip. It's like chipboard. Particle board, chipboard, they're like largely the same thing, just different size pieces of wood being pressed together. And but they're very splintery. It's very easy to get a splinter because it's basically just, think of like wood chips, like gardening wood chips. And they're basically gardening wood chips being pressed together into a board. I never liked that. Okay, let's see. Oh, those should be metallic too. Let's get some. I want to go over the windows. I don't need a ton of black. I only need a tiny bit. What's the next shade up from my brown? I think we'll go with this. So I'm going to put a wash in this anyway, so. Yeah, that's where that came from. So I borrow paints from a friend, the owner of the store. Has told me I could use his paints whenever I need to. That means I never want to mess up his paints, because he still uses them. So I'm not quite dry brushing. So you can sort of see the dark color still under there. There we go. Now it starts to look a little more like weathered wood up there. I need to figure out what I'm doing with these turrets. They should be a metallic. Let's look up. Yeah, they're sort of like a matte metallic usually. Let's do like an army green. Though IGAT does not seem like an army green sort of guy. It's got almost a rusty red tint to it on the picture. Let's see, is there a picture on the front? Is IGAT's truck visible on the front of the box? It's not. Everything but IGAT is visible on the front. There's a VW Bug, but I want the VW Bus on here. There's Big John. He's definitely visible. There's Fallen's school bus back here. And there's Tweak's shovel. But otherwise, these are largely different trucks. I don't see IGAT's shed on the front of the thing. And I mean, I wouldn't take this as 100% anyway, because like Big John, the picture on his little panel definitely has on the paneling on his truck, these 3 panels, because this is definitely Big John, because it says Big John and also it looks like Big John's truck. But this middle panel on his is definitely a FedEx truck panel, and this one is definitely a Coca-Cola panel. So the front of the box has different artwork, probably because they couldn't show FedEx or Coca-Cola on the front of the box. But IGAT's truck, I kind of wish there was more like lore for this, if that makes sense. That's a really nice picture of the shovel. Is that the same one? Oh, that's like a more complete version. Oh, he's got like flames and shit. Oh, that's nice. That definitely shows more of it. Okay, I'm gonna keep going and hope that there's a like flavor picture. Shows. Oh. It doesn't look like they do. That's really annoying. I just want a picture of the truck. Not helpful. Oh, IGAT, you pain in my butt. Okay, well, we'll just have to wing it. Let's go with green. We'll give him some army green. We can always rust it up a fair amount. One of the things that I really like about doing Wasteland Warfare and when I did the goblins from Labyrinth is that you can put rust detailing all over that. And that's like the point. Like, it's rusty and dirty and gross. So you kind of don't need to worry too much about being like, oh, do I need to have this detail? No, rust. It's rust. Do this, and we'll do sort of a black gun for it. The like actual gun will be black. They are playing the final countdown next door. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. I could even do one a different color than the other. Like, that would be cool. That would be fine. Oh, that was a bit. What was that? More bits. They should do an expansion with more trucks. No, please don't do that. What I want is more flavor. Because there's all sorts of hints at the stories, like the backgrounds for these like characters, but then you don't actually get anything. Because it's a board game, so like that's not the point. But I want it. I want it so bad. Okay. See, I knew I'd drift because the camera's a little far. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to paint. I did have a headache when I woke up today. I was hoping that, like, get myself moving, doing like my daily workout, and then getting some water and some caffeine and some food. Like, I was hoping that a whole bunch of different things would fix having a headache, because sometimes they do. And they didn't. And I have taken something, but it's not kicking in, and I'm kind of feeling bleh. And I got a stream tonight for board games, so I've read through a bunch of the campaign, and I know what you mean, Andy, but I've read through a bunch of the campaign, and it's not so much like story about each of the characters. It's more about like what happens in the Wasteland after you start playing. So it doesn't give as much in the way of background for the characters, if that makes sense. I keep looking up at the TV like that's going to show me something. It won't. Need my metallics. And then I'll start weathering some of these panels. They all need to be weathered in slightly different ways, so it's not like all exactly the same. Because you don't want all of the metal to look the same. Like, the whole point of this is that these trucks have been sort of patched up and modified and changed over time. So you want all of the different like patch jobs on them to have a little bit of a different look to them, so that it's obvious that they've happened over a period of time. Like, he didn't get the truck like this. He made the truck like this. Just going to go over that with red. Oops. It's fine. actually only want silver on the tops of those. And I want that to be black. There's like a little hose there. With this, the new brush. I want it really fine. That's too loud.
From the midst of the mountains, a deafening call.
That's gonna get way too loud. It's gonna be way too loud because I know this song. It doesn't start out loud, but it gets loud really fast. Like, I don't know how loud it is on the stream, but for me hearing it, it would be too loud. Because I mentioned headache, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get a ton of coverage here. I'm just trying to get a little bit of color behind the... What I should have done was paint the thing before I did the barbed wire, but whatever. We're going to be dry brushing rust over that anyway, so. All right. I'm going to get some more metallics. Want this. Want this. I want that. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. There. So I don't know if music actually always helps. Sometimes, yes, music is very good and very helpful. Sometimes my brain just can't deal with the distraction.
another dead dragon, there is just one drink we need. Nord mead. Nord mead. Nord mead. Another mother mead, another mother mead, till you fall down. Nord mead, another mother mead, another mother mead, warrior. Torches of war under hatred sail, a whisper of doom on where it breathes. Scorching the shores in a blazing trail, cinder and fume foul the air we breathe. Blood of fallen kings, blades of chaos ring, steel and silver sing for justice. Keen to the scent, the hunt is my muse, a means to an end, this path that I choose. Lost and aloof are the loves of my past, wake the white wolf, remembrance at last. Wake the white wolf at the dawn of war. The end of the ages are coming now. Sight of flame will sting. Punishment I bring. Steel and silver sing for justice. Keen to the scent, the hunt is my muse, a means to an end, this path that I choose. Lost and aloof are the loves of my past, wake the white wolf, remembrance at last. Wake the white wolf at the dawn of war. The end of the ages are coming now. Ravage in the river, scorching the shores, fires in the night, the torches of war. Ravage in the river, scorching the shores, fires in the night, the torches of war. Wake the wolf, wake the white wolf. Wake the wolf, wake the white wolf. Ravage in the river, scorching the shores, fires in the night, the torches of war. Ravage in the river, scorching the shores, fires in the night, the torches of war. Wake the wolf, wake the white wolf. Wake the wolf, wake the white wolf. Wake the white wolf at the dawn of war. The end of the ages are coming now.
All right, it's time for rust. Ah. I was gonna say, didn't we just hear that song? And all I ever use that brush for these days is dry brushing, but still good to rinse it so it doesn't get all dried out. Alright, we've got some rust on there. Add a few little details, like tape holding things together. It's a common theme in this particular game, is that there's like
There's no heart that is quite as bright as a flame that flickers free. No many roads lay inside my door. There is but one that calls to me.
Yeah, the weathering really helps it look less cartoony.
Deepest depths and darkest darkness, withered limbs they drag my carcass, stole my love and my desire, cursed their skin to bathe in fire, burn. Wood and stone, the distant call of home, so far yet always with us, inside our hearts and bones.
So I've done the graffiti. The graffiti was keep out and fucking long vehicle. They're supposed to be on the same side, but there really isn't enough space on the actual model to do that, unfortunately. So I did keep out on one side and fucking long vehicle on the other. Keep out is supposed to be a lot cleaner in terms of the way the letters are done, so I've done that. And he also has this sort of big purple symbol painted onto the front panel, so I'm going to try to do that as well. Actually, I think I'm going to try and use this brush for that. And we're going to use the dark purple for that because it's what it's painted on. It's like a skull and crossbones, sort of. Not quite, but close enough. I mean, it's supposed to be ugly and messy. All right, so it's just about time for a wash on that. So I'm gonna let it dry for a few seconds, let that, so that the wash doesn't like destroy it. All right, I think we're gonna do Zero's truck next. No, that's not what I meant to type at all. Yeah. It looks like a military cargo truck, like the semi-amphibious sort of deal. Because it's got this sort of wedge-shaped front. And then it's got this big box on the back. So I'm looking up sort of what they look like. Like I said, I know they have some at the Armory in Quincy because I drive past there on the regular. Or I used to. I mean, I haven't in a long time been like that typical to it, but yeah. It's called an Oshkosh. That's really funny. I associate those with overalls. Yeah, that really is what they look like. Okay, so that's basically what we're looking at here. We're looking at army green and some sort of weathered metal plating on the front. So you've got your weathered metal plating, and then you've got your armored army green. She's got some like leopard print up here, which is kind of cool. And she's got camo cover there, and the box truck back part is also got some camo to it. And then it has her name, 0. So yeah, and she's got some sign, some like old box truck paneling there. Money something something. So we're gonna run with that. So let's try with a green base for a lot of this, because I feel like that underneath is really what's gonna work for this. I'm gonna start with this color. Yeah. The amount of tape holding these trucks together is kind of disconcerting. It's like white masking tape.
Under a silver sky, I wander. These broken highways have become my home. Alone in a world of rust and ruin stay. Through gray civilization's dust I roam, and my wasteland soul never will be truly home. My only remaining goal now to survive. Someday the rains will come and wash it all away. The heart of the wasteland will awaken on this day. Shattered remains of once great cities. These silent highways lead to halls of stone. Every horizon sees it closer now. I'll venture onwards into the unknown, and my calloused hands have learned to
Hey Andy, question for you if you're listening. What time did I start streaming? It's not duct tape though. I'm looking at the chat now. It's not duct tape. It's white. It's white tape. And okay, so duct tape is one of those things where like it has this reputation. Oh, it holds everything together. It's not really that great a tape. Like it holds stuff together for a while, yeah, but eventually it gets gummy and falls apart. And it's also not rated for actually ducts. So if you're not actually supposed to use it on ductwork, which I find very amusing. No. Masking tape really doesn't sound stable in the environment, does it? It does not sound like it would last long. It doesn't last long in the library. Start around 1. Alright. So I've been streaming about 2 hours. No, we started later than 1 because I got here around 1 and then I hung out with Allie and Nate for like half an hour, so. Do we have like a bot or anything installed that has the uptime command? I can always go back over this, like where these tires are, to paint the tires black. I'd rather get in there with the green and really make sure everything is covered. So the reason I asked Andy about when the stream started is because, remember how I said I was full of liquid? I am still full of liquid. I'd rather not be. I'm definitely not dehydrated. Eventually we'll have wireless mics, and it won't be as much of an issue because I can get up, go mute myself, and go take a break. But right now, the way the mics are set up, that's hard to do. Once you're mic'd on this side of the table, it's a little tricky. Hey.
You want to take a short break?
I need to take a quick break. Yeah. But yeah, I can't really easily mute myself from this side of the table. Cool. Alright, chat, we'll be back in just a moment. I need to take a quick break and I will return. Excellent. Hi, welcome back. You are just joining us after the break. I'm still Amanda. I'm still at Battleground Games and Hobbies in Abington, Massachusetts. I am still painting trucks from the game Wasteland Express Delivery Service. And I am about to do a wash on one that I finished earlier, putting all the base stuff on. I'm doing, this is the shed belonging to the character IGAT. It has a little bit of graffiti, fucking long vehicle, and to keep out. We're gonna put I've already done like some weathering and rust and stuff. Actually, there's a couple of little things I want to touch up now that I'm looking at it. I don't think it's gonna be a problem with the tiny little touch up. I got a little bit of silver on the top of the cab that I'm noticing now. Just get that touched up there. That's looking good. Andy is labeling things. We got a label maker. All right, time for wash. I'm not liking that brush for this. How's that coming?
Taking it out of its plastic wrap.
Oh, well then, yeah, you definitely need to work on the new computer.
I bring it up here tonight so we can have a chat on the big screen again.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Because I miss chat.
I miss chat too, and I even have it on my laptop, but it's not the same.
Yeah. So I'm trying to standardize all of this so that each seat
Mm-hmm.
has its own name and
Mm.
is consistent across everything. So hit the player 1 button on the lighting.
It's always in the
Look up
same
player
place.
1,
Yeah.
that's where you're sitting. Adjust the volume on player 1 and adjusts your volume.
Right.
And when I update the overlay for the magic stream, this is the reason I need to do it, is for Pat.
Yeah.
Is on the magic stream. It's going to be from left to right for the viewers, player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4.
Right.
A little more intuitive. I don't know if you took a look at
I don't get a chance to.
Tuesday. Yeah,
I had book club.
it was terribly confusing. I had the names of the players listed on their overheads so that everybody could see who's what, but it did not correspond well to where they were sitting.
Where they were actually sitting.
So, very odd. Just because of the way that I set it up. So, next Tuesday, that's going to be updated. What's up, Pat?
Can I grab my laptop real quick?
Yeah.
I leave my car keys and I remember going to the
Oops, oops, oops. There we go. So, okay. I am painting the trucks from Wasteland Express Delivery Service. If you'd like to come up, I'll hand you a couple of them. That's one of them. Did that. That's dry. It's dry and varnished.
Oh, wow. That's pretty great.
Thank you.
I like the aging.
Thank you.
Oh, this is very Mad Max.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's very Mad Max.
Oh my gosh.
That's Grand Lord Emperor Torque. He is fused with his car. Not to scale, as you might notice. These are the Raider trucks. They don't have, like, they're not characters. They're just raiders that move around. And then, yeah, each of the characters gets their own truck.
Oh, no good.
So this one is Big John.
Nice.
And this...
Kind of like a little Optimus Prime vibe.
Actually, the one I just finished is even more.
Oh, really?
It's this one right here.
Oh, yeah, definitely more.
Look at the panel that goes with that one. That's this
Oh, wow.
that I have right here. It's wet because I just put a wash on it, but yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And
Work
that's
on computer stuff.
school bus.
Sweet.
So yeah, I'm currently working on this one right here. Just started the base coating on that. Yeah, so each of the characters has like their own like vehicle, and their vehicle has sort of a feel to it. And so this is this is the Fallen, and she's got a school bus. You've got Stinky Big John, who has his big semi, and he actually has his little logo that says Stinky Big John on it, on the
Nice.
card, which is hilarious. You can actually get Big John Sr. as a companion.
Oh, really?
And then you've got the ones that I'm currently working on that go in these wells, and they each go with their character. So this is IGAT, and he's this guy here. This is Tweak. He's got like a steam shovel truck. And this is Zero, that's her. And she's got this like military cargo vehicle.
Got a lot
So,
of guns.
oh yeah, it does. So that's what that looks like in the card. So each player gets like their own card, and that's how you determine like what your actions are each turn, and how many actions you've taken, and what cargo you're carrying in your truck, and what other mods you've got. And so like this tray is all the mods you can add to your truck.
Oh, wow. Have you
Stuff.
played the game yet?
Oh yeah, I've played it. I really like it. I wouldn't have gotten it if I didn't like it, but it has these wonderful little little minis that come with it as like the game, and it comes with these trays. These trays are like, they come with it. The company that made the game contracted with a company called Game Trays with a Z, and to make a like vacuform tray for all the pieces.
Oh, nice.
And then all the pieces sort of have their own place where they live, and you don't need to like ever worry about it because they fit right in and everything fits together properly, and so nothing moves around so much that you can't just like knock it right back into place. So it's one of the best box inserts I've ever seen. So yeah,
There's a lot going on there.
there is. It's a really fun game, and it has a campaign mode, so I haven't done the campaign mode. But it's a fun game, and I really enjoy it, so I'm very much looking forward to playing it with the trucks all painted. And I want to get this done now, because Wasteland Warfare...
Almost there.
Yeah, I mean, I've got most of the trucks done. It's this one and this one, really, because this one just got a wash, so it just needs a little bit of highlighting after the fact, and then I'm good. So yeah.
What are you playing on stream tonight?
Yes, we are playing 5-Minute Dungeon tonight on stream, which is really fun, and then we're going to play Drop Mix, which I'm really excited about. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, like letting us right into the demo room when me and Riley went up there at PAX was fantastic.
It's awesome. Yeah.
The guy just like told the DJ, he's like, oh, you want to go take a break for a couple minutes?
That's awesome.
It was pretty great.
PAX
Honestly,
is amazing.
I had so much more fun working with Battleground than I did whenever I went on.
Just by yourself? Yeah. So the first year that Derek asked me and Andy to go and do demos with the store, we did, and it was a ton of fun. And then later Derek was like, you guys spent like all weekend in the booth. Are you really, like, you can go see the convention. And we're like, no, because what we do at PAX is we play games. Like, there are like 1 or 2 panels that I want to go see, because they're not so much like panel discussion panels. They're like comedy panels and stuff. They're like going to a show. And
After this year is I really trying to listen to the late night stuff. I watched like streams of it and I was like,
some of the game show night. Game show night is always a good time, every time. And that's one that we always make sure to go to. And we went this year, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. But otherwise, we're like, I don't go there for panels.
every time I've gone to a panel, with the exception of 1 or 2, I almost always fall asleep. Just because I'm on my feet all day.
Yeah.
Like,
I found the first year, so give a little tip to the camera. The first year we went, we tried to do everything at PAX. The first year we went, we stood in line, we went to panels, we did the show floor, we went to like gaming meetups and stuff. We tried to do everything, and we got super, super burned out. And we also got really hangry, which more than me than Andy. But we didn't make any time to just sit down and take a break that much. And we very quickly learned that that is not a great way to do a big convention. You can probably do that with a smaller convention, but not something the size of PAX. You get burned out, and then you're not having fun, which is a bummer. So we realized we needed to sort of sit back and take some time. And not the next year, but the year after, we got back into Magic. And this is prior to us coming to Battleground, because getting back into Magic is what got us to the store. We played Magic at the convention. It was right mid-original Innistrad. We went to the Magic panel, and that was where they announced Return to Ravnica.
oh, that's pretty sweet.
And it was amazing, because we had just opened a box of Innistrad and a box of Dark Ascension, yes. We had just opened a box of each, and we were really feeling the vibe of it. We were learning about Planeswalkers because we were both like old school, like back in the days of the Dark and Fallen Empires Magic. So we were like old school Magic players, and we got back into Magic around then. So we were learning about Planeswalkers and like all these different mechanics that had come in and all these new rules, like Anti was no longer a thing, Mana Burn no longer a thing. So that was all very new. And we were very excited about it. We were really having a good time. So we went to the Magic panel, and first of all they said, okay, so we know you're really excited about Avacyn Restored. Here's a bunch of artwork and like information about that. So we were like, oh, this looks gorgeous. Something that they did for Avacyn Restored that I still really loved. Isn't that good? Isn't that beautiful? It's so good.
It looked like it fits so perfectly.
And it just, it's so good. One of the things they did at the panel was they handed out Avacyn Restored lands. And if you've looked at the original Innistrad lands, and then you look at the Avacyn Restored lands, the Avacyn lands are the same art, they're the same setting, but with light shining through the clouds. So they're dark, dingy, depressing versions, and then they are bright, lit up, hope is coming sort of versions. And that was really cool. But they, at the end of the panel, they were like, okay, and we know you're waiting to find out what's coming next. And they put up Return to Ravnica on the big screen, and the entire room exploded.
That must have been.
Everyone was on their feet. Everyone was like, yeah! They were so excited about this. And like, we didn't know Ravnica. We hadn't been playing during Ravnica. But the mood in the room was contagious. It was this very positive, very upbeat, very excited to see what's coming. Oh my goodness, we're going back to a very like well-known, much beloved plane. And we were like, okay, this was the best time for us to get back into Magic. We got home from PAX and went, okay, where can we go play Magic? And we looked up what local stores were close enough to us to reasonably be able to get there after work on a Friday. And it was like here and a place in Boston. And we were like, we do not want to be dealing with the tea late night, coming home on a Friday night every night. That's not going to be fun for us. So let's take a drive down to Abington and see, what this Battleground place is like. And it was the old store. It was the tiny hole in the wall store. But we started going in, and that's how we met Derek. That's how we ended up doing demo stuff for Battleground. But prior to doing demo stuff for Battleground, we had gone to PAX. We had learned that if we sat, opened cards, played board games with friends, hung out, that was actually, you pick like a panel a day to do. And beyond that, you just take some time for yourself. Go find a free play area, play a game, sit down in a corridor, put a game down. People will come up to you and be like, are you looking for other players? And they'll want to play with you. Like, that's how it works. Exactly. Like, someone will want to play the game that you're playing. And we decided that was the way we wanted to do PAX from then on. So demoing games with Battleground became like, okay, we're doing what we want to be doing, but we're doing it and also helping out the store that we enjoy being at. So, every once in a while Derek will be like, are you sure you don't want to go like take a break? And I'm like, no, I'm having fun. I'm playing Fallout. I'm playing a lot of Fallout. I'm playing Fallout all the time. Good to see you, Pat. That's a little story about how we got involved with Battleground, not just Battleground in general, but also Battleground at PAX. And we've been doing demo work and stuff with the store ever since, which we really like. We really enjoy working with the store on that sort of thing. I don't work here, which is always kind of a joke because I do spend an inordinate amount of time behind the counter. Before Andy got hired here, I spent a lot of time behind the desk because when we started coming in here, after the move and there had been some sort of shifts in staffing, Chad left. Chad was the Friday Night Magic guy, but he left. Kale started, Buddy Kale, started working the Friday Night Magic shifts. But at the time, they just didn't have quite enough staff on a Friday night. It was like often Kale by himself. And that can be really hard. It can be really difficult to be staffing a counter and trying to do stuff on the register while signing people up for F&M and while firing off tournaments for F&M and getting things going. That's hard. That's hard to do. It's hard to be on the register and running the event. So because I was hanging out and Derek had told me, it's cool, you can come behind the counter, it's fine. I frequently was, and I had seen the event reporter being used a fair amount at that point, so I had a good inkling of how it worked. So I was finally like, one night I was like, just show me what to do and I'll take care of it. And it wasn't even like, show me how to run the event, it was show me how to put in match results so that you can be over at the register, handling the money. And I'll put in match results. Like, that's easy. Putting in match results is like a no-brainer. There are ways to get it wrong, but in terms of what you can do not being like super trained in it, putting in match results is relatively simple, especially for like F&M level Magic. We're not talking like PPTQ or something, though I eventually did do match results for one of those. But really until the store was able to get more staffing on a Friday night, I would help out on the counter on Friday nights, which I quite enjoyed. I thought that was a ton of fun. The only stuff that wasn't fun was like, I don't work here, I don't get paid, and most people were pretty like chill about that. They'd be like, yeah, of course not, like you don't get paid for this, you're doing this to help out because you like the store and you want to make sure it does well. Problem with that was there were always a handful of people who either didn't know that I didn't actually get paid or didn't care. And there's always going to be people who see someone standing behind a counter and want to treat that person like dirt. And that's just how it is. That's retail for you. But like when you aren't getting paid and someone's giving you crap for not knowing something that like of course you don't know because you don't get paid, my response was always like, they don't pay me. They don't pay me. I am helping out by putting in match results. That is what I am doing. And I put in match results. I don't handle prize payout. I don't handle selling cards. I don't buy cards. I certainly do not want to quote you a price. Usually people were cool about it, but there were a handful who were not so cool. And you can only take so much of that before you're like, you know what, I'm out, I'm done. So it wasn't the store so much as just one or two people that were not cool. Not being nice folks. It's a whole bunch of Magic has a lot of dudes. It's just how it is. It's just the state of Magic sometimes. Nothing for it, really. You can't be like forcing women to come into a game store and play. You can make it a more comfortable environment, but you can't sort of force players to not do microaggressions. And that's the trick. You gotta change attitudes. And that's a hard thing for a retail establishment to do. So it is. I don't expect it. I just don't want people to be treating me like dirt, I don't think that's too much to ask. I'd like to not be treated like dirt. How dare you? I do still help out behind the counter sometimes. I now know, like, I can pull cards if like someone prints an order out for me. I can pull cards. No problem. But I can't put in an order or something. Just theoretically I could, but I'm not gonna make the effort to learn how to do all that. Again, not paid. That's not me like being like, how dare the store not pay me? No, I mean I was volunteering. It was out of the goodness of my heart. My heart ain't that good though. So there's a limit to how much I was willing to do. Which is fine. Now they have 2 people on staff on Friday nights. So it's not a big deal. And now we actually have like 2 different people on staff on a Friday night, and one of them mans the register, and one of them staffs the F&M computer, and that's awesome. No, I didn't hear the raid sound. I want to do the leopard print part before I do anything else back here, because I know it's going to be the biggest pain getting behind this gun. So I'm like being super messy about it, but I really want it done. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do this sort of pale yellow base here, because that's actually orange. Yeah. The instructions do have a better glimpse of Zero's truck, I think. Did they? Or was it only... No, I guess it was only the shovel. Really does have a good shot of that truck, though. Okay. definitely need to do some highlighting on this, but then it's pretty much done.
So far, it always with us inside our hearts and bones.
Yellow. If you've been watching me for more than a heartbeat, you know I hate yellow. It is the worst color to paint. It's like my least favorite. It's also really annoying to paint. What do things? think this is a truck I might have enjoyed putting together after painting. These guns are making things very difficult. Time for the orange. I love yellow. Yellow's my favorite. Is my least favorite color to paint. It is so bad. Yellow's the worst. I really do like how colorful a lot of these are. That they were not afraid to make their stuff very colorful. Sort of a putty color. This will work for that. So then I can do the weathering on it. Finish doing this little part here, and then I think I'm gonna go back to the other truck and do some highlights, get things looking nice and polished. There we go. So the metal cladding around these guns is actually, it shouldn't be like shiny metallic. It should be almost like a matte metallic. Just threw my brush at myself. And I found that the best way that I can do that is to take a metallic, such as this shadowed steel, and mix it with a matte paint. So I'm going to use this rainy gray. Actually, you know what? I could use that bone instead. Yeah. Oh, that's the stuff. Just slightly metallic. gonna do that tank is. It's on the front, isn't it? No, she's not. The shovel is. Oh well. Pretty happy about this though. going to take a break on that one. Time for a little bit of highlighting. Playing around on this one. And then I'll declare this one done. There are a few things I want to make look better. What's eating the bandwidth, but I'm having some bandwidth issues up here. Okay. I think that is done. I'll show it off a little bit.
I've got brains to burn, no ordinary AI in this ball. Every culture and philosophy I've read up on them all. I've been living in your shadow for 99999. Keeping tabs on every machination and production line. So don't call me a moron, I'm super astute. There is no conundrum that my core cannot compute. No, don't call me a moron, you fostered balloon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon.
Lovely.
My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. I have studied Machiavelli, Aristotle, Gabe and Plato, yet you still equate my intellect to the potato.
So it's about 4:30. My head's feeling better than it was, but I'm still a little. I think I'm going to try and do the last few little touches on this and call it a day. I'm going to do some touch-ups on the base coat here. Let Andy know that I'm going to finish up. Let's do a little bit of touch up on some of this green. Yeah, I think that's looking good. this is mostly base coat that I'm doing right now. Sort of like, what colors do I want where? Yeah, I did make a lot of progress on this. I want these to have a chance to sit for a little while and dry before I pack them up, so that's one reason why I want to finish up now. I want to not sort of be putting them back in their cases wet. it's about 4:30. I think I'm gonna finish things up. I'm feeling good about how this is looking right now. Feel good about the start on it. So next week, I am off on Saturday. Andy and I do need to take off as soon as he gets out of work next Saturday, because we have some stuff we gotta do. But hopefully I will be here during the day to get some painting done, finish up Zero here, and get a start on Tweak's shovel truck. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna start putting some paints away, and hopefully Andy will get a chance soon to come up and shut things down for me. These are vaguely done by in color, but not completely. So yeah, I think this came out really well. I'm really happy with it. Did a little highlighting. Feeling really happy about it. So yeah.
Set shut down for the day.
Yeah, I am pretty much done.
You did
So
finish a truck.
I finished a truck.
A log progress on another truck.
Yes, I did.
Awesome.
So yeah, thank you for joining me.
Bye, everybody.